Hi, everyone. So, I'm going to do my best to try to teach you how to prepare financial statements via video and practice problems. Hopefully, my children won't interrupt me, but I can't promise that won't happen. What you can see on my screen right now is an example of an income statement. And an income statement is one of a company's most important financial statements. We learned about these earlier in the year, and you've taken a look at those now as you've done some of your financial analysis. What I want you to realize is that regardless of how simple or complex a company's income statement is, excuse me, I'm yawning now. Ah, these highlighted yellow rows are just really signifying the formula. Every financial statement is a formula. So you can see here we have sales minus the cost of the merchandise that we bought, gives us our gross profit. That's our profit thus far, minus all the expenses that we have, will give us our income from our operations. And then we might have other sources of revenue or other sources of expenses that are not attributed to our regular ongoing operations that will then result in a final income or loss. Okay. So when I come over here, I have this exact same spreadsheet that I'm going to share with you. So what you can see here is I have all of the account balances on the right-hand side. Those are the adjusted general ledger balances. And on the left-hand side, I have an income statement. So what I'm going to have you do is follow along and prepare one of these for me so that you get practice before I ask you to do one on your own. At the top, we start with our heading, Learning at Home Company. It's an income statement for the year ended December 31st, 2020. And you can see I already started lining up the heading. So the first thing I wanted to do, we said it started with revenue. So for us, our sources of revenue are sales, and we have sales supplies, 50,650. And then we have sales from lessons of, where is it? There it is, 22,965. I'm racing against the clock here. I only have 5 minutes. So then what I want to do is find my total revenue. And I will let the computer do that for me. So I'm going to use my sum button, which you are all familiar with at this point. And we know that all other numbers will be based on that total revenue. So I'm going to keep that as 100%. Next, I want to subtract my cost of merchandise sold. But in order to do that, I have to use a formula. So you'll see over here to the right, I have beginning inventory. That's what I started with of $83,100. But then I purchased more. I purchased $69,875 worth. So that gives me a total of, let's sum them up. Here we go. 152. Then my ending inventory is 84,300. So if this is what I had, and then this is what I bought, and this is what I had available to sell, I'm going to subtract what I have left. I'm going to pop it over here. So those final numbers in each section will go in the right column, and the numbers that are still being worked on are going to go in the left column. My cost of merchandise sold is going to be the difference between the two, okay? So if this is what I sold and then this is what I spent to buy that stuff, then my gross profit is going to be the difference between those two. That's my profit thus far. There we go. So I have a gross profit of $4,940. Seems quite low. I need to bring my expenses over, and I am going to copy and paste those for time's sake because I, again, am racing against the clock here. And then I'll bring these guys over. They'll go in the left column because they also are numbers I am still going to do a little math with. I'm going to total those up. I didn't capitalize my T. And when I total those up, I get 21,018. And I can see that I started with $73,000 plus in revenue, but then I had my gross profit of $49.40. So I want to subtract the $49.40 minus my total expenses. And if that number is negative, that means I have resulted in a net loss. Now, another thing that I want to do is figure out some percentages. So I will always divide each of these numbers by the sales. So when I do that, as you can see me doing this here, I'm figuring out how those sales dollars get spent. And I don't know if I'm going to make it. I literally have 10 seconds left. Equals each number divided by sales gives us the percentage available for each.